Hi everyone, welcome to Heart of Avocado. My name is Tapasia, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 super simple sustainability tips that you can implement today. My first tip is fountain pens. If you've been on this channel before, you've seen my fountain pen collection video, which is a super minimal collection of just a handful of fountain pens and a handful of inks. If anything, I have actually further reduced my collection since I made that video, but the reason I wanted to start off with fountain pens is because if you have a job where you write a lot, or if you go to school, or if you're just someone who writes a lot in general, like I'm a planner, so I use a lot of ink on a daily basis. I think pens are something that are easy to replace with a more sustainable option. Instead of buying a ton of plastic pens, which are usually single use unless they make the replacement cartridges for them, it's super simple to switch to fountain pens, which will last you literally a lifetime and can even be passed on to future generations. A lot of people think that fountain pens are super complicated and expensive, but this is not the case at all. You can get started with a fountain pen for less than $20. One of the first fountain pens that I bought was my Pilot Metropolitan. It's high quality, it's nice and heavy, it's made out of metal, it's not plastic, and I think I bought it for, I want to say $18. And I bought this probably like 10 years ago now, and it's a pen that I use every single day. Still, 10 years later, I'm using the same pen. I have even had very expensive pens, yet my Metropolitan is something that I just love and keep coming back to. So you don't have to buy an expensive fountain pen. There are a ton of very cheap fountain pens that are high quality and will last you a very long time. My first super favorite pen was actually a Platinum Preppy, which literally costs $6. I got it from eBay and I used that pen for probably 5 years straight. And the second part of fountain pens is, of course, the ink. The great thing about fountain pens is that you can just buy a bottle of ink, and I cannot emphasize how hard it is to use up a bottle of ink. I bought a pen in 2018 that came with a bottle of ink, Monteverde Caribbean Blue, and I have been using this ink for literally years now, and I haven't even put a dent in it. The bottle is still filled almost to the top. So fountain pens are really something that are long lasting. They are a sustainable option if you write a lot, and the best part is that they are very fun to use. There's just something about writing with a fountain pen that a regular pen can never replicate. If you guys would be interested in a beginner's guide to fountain pens, let me know in the comments down below. I do want to say one thing before I move on to the next tip. When it comes to fountain pens, in online spaces such as the subreddit for fountain pens on Reddit, there is a lot of overconsumption, and huge collections are glamorized where people have like hundreds of pens and hundreds of inks that they could literally write every single minute of every single day, and they would still not be able to finish their entire collection in their lifetime. Just like with any other hobby or really any other physical possession, I think overconsumption is glamorized in our society. That is what marketers and companies want. They want us to spend all our money. So don't get sucked in. If you do decide to get a fountain pen, if you're not a fountain pen user already, be very conscious with your consumption. You do not need more than one bottle of ink, one pen, and if you really get into the hobby, you can expand your collection to a handful of pens and a handful of inks. But it's very important to think about how much we can actually use up realistically rather than just falling for the hype. The next tip I want to move on to is my absolute favorite tip on this list, and that tip is libraries. I have loved going to my local library wherever I live since I was a very young child. I think libraries are such gold mines for the community, where you have access to free books, free audiobooks, even ebooks, music, DVDs, VHS tapes, and so much more. For example, my local library has a vinyl record player. You can take your own record, or they have a small collection of vinyls that you can pick, and you can just go listen to your vinyls there. They have a piano, they have a seed library. So if you want to grow some flowers or local plants, or even some basic vegetables and fruits, they have seeds for that. And something that is super cool is that a lot of libraries will have like an equipment borrowing service. I'll give you a concrete example. So last year I had 2 printers. I had one Brother laser printer that was just a printer, and then I had a second printer that also had a built-in flatbed scanner and an ADF reader, and that printer was just too big and I didn't need it anymore, and it wasn't serving multiple functions for me because the first printer was also being used for my business to make foil prints. So I decided to sell the bigger printer. Now the problem is that all of my documents are digitized, and I have a pretty neat system for just scanning in any mail I get and saving it if it's something I need to keep digitally rather than holding on to the paper. But the problem is that ever since I sold that printer, I've been accumulating a ton of documents because I have no way to scan them. I have been scouting Facebook Marketplace for like the past year trying to find the kind of portable scanner that I'm looking for, but I've had no success so far, and it's not a really big pile of paper, so it's not something that I'm too concerned with getting rid of like right away. So I have the patience to wait. But I recently actually discovered that my local library has the exact kind of portable scanner that I need to scan all my documents. So I've gone ahead and I put a hold on it, and I am so excited to get it soon, scan all my documents, and then just return the scanner. So much space in our home is taken up by things that we only need for like very specific purposes, something that we only need to use like a handful of times a year. And that's something that can easily be eliminated just by using your local library. Your local library may have even more services than mine has. Yet another benefit of a library is that in America, we don't actually have a lot of third spaces where we can just hang out without any expectation of spending money. This is something that is so common in places like European countries, but it's something we unfortunately do not have here. But the library is thankfully one such space. It's a third space where you can just go hang out, you can even meet up with friends, you can go read a book there, go get some work done, and you don't have to spend any money. You don't have to buy coffee to sit there. You don't have to do anything. I am personally so library obsessed that every city that I spend more than a week in, I get a library card. One of the first places I like checking out in a new place is the library. I recently went on a solo birthday trip to Vancouver, and I had been to the Vancouver downtown library before, but I didn't even realize that they had a rooftop sitting area. So on this trip, that was like my top priority, to go see the rooftop of this library. And I discovered so many wonderful things at the Vancouver Library. One, the rooftop was absolutely gorgeous. I sat there probably for like an hour, just reading, listening to music, and just taking in the view. It was such a nice, pleasant, sunny day. And I also discovered they had like this really cool seating area where they had like these floor tables and cushions to sit on, and the whole floor was like filled. People were using it, and it was just so wonderful to see. So next time you're thinking of buying a tool or buying a book or even renting an ebook, check out your local library instead. You may be surprised by what they have to offer. My next tip is to shop your stash. I think it's inevitable that sometimes we end up buying more than we need. Sometimes if something is on sale, you might pick up like 2 tubes of toothpaste instead of 1, or you might stock up on your favorite shampoo. So it's just inevitable that we'll end up having a lot of extra stuff. And especially if you're coming from a background of overconsumption, you probably have a lot of products already in your house that need to be used up. So what I like to do is I like to collect all of these extra things and put them in a little bin in my linen closet. I'll have things in here like hand sanitizer, soaps, extra washcloths, toothpaste, and just any extras that I've collected. So when I run out of something, before I go out and buy the replacement, I'll go and I'll shop my stash. I'll open up my stash, I'll see what I actually have in there, and then I will take that and use that up first. And until the stash is empty in that specific category, I will not buy a replacement. I think there are a couple of benefits to doing this. One, it teaches us to use up what we have before we go out and buy something else. And two, it gives you more visibility to your own inventory in your house. So the first step to this is consolidating all the extras you have and putting them in one place. And then the second step to it is just getting in the habit of shopping your own stash before you go out and buy a replacement. This is a tip that has saved me a lot of money, and it also ensures that I'm very conscious about what I buy, because I know that unless it's like super damaging or I'm having an allergic reaction to it, I have to use it up. My fourth tip for today is sustainable toiletries. So this one in specific is in relation to liquid toiletries. For example, in the zero waste community, a lot of people recommend using things like bar soap and bar shampoos and bar conditioners as opposed to liquid soaps and shampoos, because liquid products ultimately have a higher impact on the environment. They cost more to produce, they cost more to transport, because you're basically just transporting water. But there are often a lot of challenges that come with this tip. So I wanted to actually just share a couple of products that have made a huge difference for me personally. The first product I want to share is the Renunu Body Wash by the Glow Green Company. Now, the way I discovered this product was I was just scrolling on Instagram one day several months ago when I got an ad for this company, and I saw that it was a powdered body wash that was super gentle, that came with a bottle made out of recycled plastic, and then all you had to do was buy the refill and add your own water, shake it up, and voila, you had body wash. I was instantly intrigued, so I actually decided to reach out to the company and ask them if they would be kind enough to send me their product to try out, and they very generously agreed to do so. Since this is the first time on my channel that I have received something for free, I want you guys to know that I will never advertise something on this channel that I don't personally believe in or think is a good product. In fact, when I wrote to the Glow Green Company, I wanted to make sure that I was very clear in my message that I would only share this product with my audience if I truly liked it. That is something that I really want to emphasize, because I want this channel to be a place where you know that you're not just being sold crap to. I just want to set that precedent on this channel that you can always expect honesty from me, and this is not a space where you will ever be encouraged to spend money on things that suck. So with that out of the way, the Glow Green Company did send me their trial kit to try out, and I literally fell in love with the product. I received this back in May, and the original refill ran out, so I used my own money to purchase a refill pack of 3, and I'm going to continue purchasing refills for the foreseeable future, because this is literally the best body wash I have ever used. It is super simple to use. It comes with a 650 milliliter bottle that's made from recycled plastic, and all you do is you add in water up to the fill line, you empty the powder refill into the bottle, you give it a really good shake for like a minute, and voila, you have 650 milliliters of body wash to use, and it's been lasting me around 3 months per refill. The best thing about this product is that it is made from super clean ingredients, very minimal ingredients, Everything in it is super gentle and good for the skin, and it has just the most natural, lovely clay type of smell, and I'm obsessed. I think one of the reasons I actually got the ad on Instagram was because I was searching up a lot of body washes at the time because as I've mentioned before on this channel, I've really been struggling with hand eczema since last year, and I was purchasing the Dove sensitive skin line or something like that body wash, and I just felt really bad about it because Dove is not a company that I want to support, and I wanted something that was also sustainable, and this is a product that actually checks off all of those boxes. So I'm going to leave a link to this in the description down below and any other links that I mentioned throughout the video. And when I purchased the refills, I also received a coupon code with the purchase, so I will also leave that down below so you can save some money. Now, the second thing that I want to mention when it comes to sustainable toiletries is hand soap. Of course, the easiest switch here is just switching to any bar soap that you like, but I wanted to mention one that I found that I really like in particular, and that is a Palestinian olive oil bar soap. I was searching for natural, gentle bar soaps because bar soap tends to be very drying usually, and with my eczema, I needed something that was a bar soap but also gentle, and that's when I came across this Palestinian olive oil soap, which is literally just made from 100% olive oil. So I went ahead and purchased a set from Amazon, and I am just absolutely in love with this soap. It is very, very natural, very gentle, and I have been using the same bar of soap probably for like 2 months. And since I wash my hands like a million times a day, so that's a testament to how long this bar of soap is lasting. And this is the second product in my little trifecta of products that have finally gotten my hand eczema under control. So I really, really recommend trying out this hand soap. My last tip for this video is shopping in bulk. This one is specifically for groceries. I know this tip is talked about a lot and it's not really relevant unless you have a good grocery store near you that does have bulk bins that make sense. I am lucky enough to live in a place where I have a Winco near me and they have a huge bulk bin section. If this is something that is accessible to you, then I do recommend giving it a shot. The main reason that I recommend this is because when we buy packaged products, there's a lot of plastic waste, and I think the stretchy kind of plastic isn't even something that's really recyclable. So when you shop in bulk, you can take like your own cloth bags and fill those with lentils, rice, pasta, whatever you want, and it kind of cuts down on that plastic waste. So that's the reason that I have personally been enjoying shopping in bulk recently for a lot of my dry pantry staples. I also want to acknowledge that sometimes bulk bin prices are actually more expensive than the packaged version. So make sure to check that before you purchase something. Just compare the price of the packaged item versus the bulk bin before you buy if you are on a budget. And even if you can't utilize bulk bins, you can always buy bigger quantities. If it's a food item that you eat for sure, for example, in my household, that would be something like chickpeas, rice. These are things that I know I'm always gonna eat. These are staples for me, so just buy the biggest quantity that you can. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. If you already use some of the tips I mentioned, tell me in the comments down below, or if you don't, tell me which one you wanna try. I always love talking to you guys in the comments. That's my favorite part of making videos. So come chat with me in the comments. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video. Give this video a subscribe. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.